Our challenges in the North today are deeply rooted issues that began decades ago. The region has suffered from years of neglect, policy inconsistency, and weak governance structures. Blaming His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who has barely been in office just 2 years ago, for the problem that have been festering for over 20 years or more, ignores the complex history and systematic failure.
Hello and what's up, guys? In this video, a top northern political leader has finally broken his silence, and what he said has shocked the entire North. In a very moment, he warned everyone to stop blaming President Tinubu for the North's deep-rooted problems. He stood before powerful politicians, security chiefs, and royal fathers and dropped a hard truth, saying the real problem of the North didn't start 2 years ago. According to him, decades of neglect, bad policies, and silence from northern elites are what brought the region to this breaking point. He exposed how insecurity, poverty, and lack of education has been killing the North from within long before Tinubu became president. He even admitted that northern leaders failed their people and looked away while things fell apart. But that's not all. He also revealed how Tinubu's administration is actually supporting the North with security upgrades, farming reforms, digital jobs for youth, and new education plans. Guys, I will let you watch this video for yourself so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel if you haven't already done so. Take a look, guys, and remember to share your thoughts after watching.
It is with profound sense of patriotic obligation and genuine humility that I stand before this distinguished assembly to convene under the esteemed Sir Ahmadu Bello Memorial Foundation. This gathering is not a mere formality. It is an invitation to introspection, to earnest evaluation, and to the forging of bold, forward-looking strategy for our collective advancement. The conference theme, assessing electoral promises, fostering government-citizen engagement for national unity, speaks directly to the heart of democratic governance. It underscores the significance of honoring commitments and deepening connections between the states and the citizenry. Let us be clear, electoral pledges are not campaign rhetoric to be conveniently forgotten after votes are tallied. They are solemn covenants, expression of aspirations, hope, and obligation. To assess those pledges is not an act of cynicism. It is an affirmation of the transparency and accountability. To foster genuine interaction between government and governed is not to encourage mere noise, but to cultivate the bedrock of unity, one grounded in shared progress, mutual respect, and restored trust. 2 years ago, this foundation brought before you leading presidential candidates, among them His Excellency Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu DCFR. He addressed you not with empty praises, but with vision anchored in renewal, integration, and rapid development, especially for northern Nigeria. He made bold commitments. Today, reconvened as a collective body of reflection, the question is unavoidable. Has President Tinubu honored the pledges he made? As a governor of Kaduna State, former senator, and a proud son of the North, I offer this response not from a point of political partisanship, but as one engaged in the journey of regional transformation. Yes, since assuming office as president and commander-in-chief, His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu has doggedly kept faith with the North. Yet, no president, however visionary, can succeed in isolation. Governance must evolve from the performance of a few in Abuja into the collective enterprise of many. It must be a dialogue between citizens and their leaders, between timeless traditions and contemporary innovations, between constructive criticism and meaningful action. This is why gatherings like this are not optional or symbolic. They are vital. The Sir Ahmadu Bello Memorial Foundation reminds us of our duty not only to remember a legacy, but to renew it, not only to analyze challenges, but to confront and resolve them. Upon assuming office as governor in 2023, I was confronted with a Kaduna under siege, Insecurity casts a long, dark shadow over our communities. Banditry, terrorism, kidnapping, and violent crime have become daily spectres. From the Kaduna-Abuja Expressway to Bunungwari, from Chukun to Igabi, Giwa, Kachia, and across the uneasy corridors of southern parts of our dear states. Fear was rampant. Kaduna, long celebrated for its resilience and cultural vitality, was being slowly eroded by chaos. The Kaduna-Abuja highway, once vibrant artery of commerce and movement, had become a corridor of dread, a painful symbol of governmental failure. The Abuja-Kaduna train attack of 2022 remains seared into our collective consciousness as a grim testament to the depth of the security crisis. Entire communities were abandoned, markets closed, and Kaduna very spirit trembled under the weight of fear. Frankly, had we attempted to organize this conference under those conditions in May 2023, the hall would have been empty, or worse, rendered inaccessible by persistent insecurity. But we could not stand idle. We recognize instinctively that force alone, goals without governance, yields limited results. So we embrace a composite model, the Kaduna Peace model, a paradigm blend of proactive security, community engagement, dialogue, and institutional alignment. By God's grace, and with the unwavering support of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, our fortunes began to change. We prioritized peace, reinvigorated our security agencies, empowered local vigilance groups, and engaged communities with empathy, respect, and humility. Criminal enclaves along Kaduna-Abuja highway were dismantled. Markets in Bunungwari reopened after more than a decade. And ghost towns in Chukun, Igabi, Giwa, Kachia, Zangon Katab regained life. In the south of our state, through dialogue and reconciliation, we actively laid the ground for a lasting peace. The federal government under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu leadership stood firmly with us, supported us, and stood by us. I commend the National Security Advisor, Malam Nuhu Ribadu, whose coordination and resolve have ensured that our security responses are both intelligent and sustained. I salute the Honorable Minister of Defense, the Honorable Minister of State for Defense, the Chief of Defense Staff, our service chiefs, and all security leaders whose courage and vigilance continue to protect our people. Their gallantry fills us with pride. Yet, we must acknowledge that insecurity is not only a failure of arms. It is born of exclusion, of educational deprivation, and of policy neglect. Long before I became governor, I emphasized that poverty is a potent instigator of instability. By the time we took office in May 2023, over 65% of our population in the Northwest in particular were financially excluded, denied access to credit, savings, and hope. In that void, extremism, criminality found fertile ground. As former chairman of the Senate Committee on Banking and Financial Institutions, I foresaw that deepening financial inclusion will be critical. I championed the Bofia Act of 2020, bringing fintech under formal regulation and laying the foundation for a digital economy. As a governor, I issue an executive order to formally integrate 2.5 million of our most vulnerable citizens into financial system. We collaborated with banks, fintechs, civil society, and global partners to preserve and expand that momentum. Financial inclusion is more than numbers. It is about dignity. It is about ensuring that a farmer in Giwa, a market woman in Kachia, and a youth in Zaria has a stake in our economy and our collective future. Indeed, at this point, I dare reiterate the fact that most of us here already know too well. Our challenges in the North today are deeply rooted issues that began decades ago. The region has suffered from years of neglect, policy inconsistency, and weak governance structures. Blaming His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who has barely been in office just 2 years ago, for the problem that have been festering for over 20 years or more, ignores the complex history and systematic failures that span multiple governments and political actors in northern Nigeria. Well, the Tinubu administration bears the responsibility to find solutions. It is unjust and politically misleading to hold the administration solely accountable for the crisis that predates the tenure of the current president. I want to also at this point just, I was happy when the chairman of the ACF also made his own remark, and I'm happy he drew our attention, all of us here, that most of us who are the leaders in northern Nigeria, I think we should be open enough to take the blame, because there was silence. Where was our voices? Nobody was speaking in the last 10 years. Nobody was speaking in the last 15 years. Nobody was talking in the last 20 years. And we were sitting watching. The developmental indices in northern Nigeria, both the northwest, the northeast, and the north central, have deteriorated completely in the last 20 years to date. We're talking about out of school children, yes, 18.5 million when you talk about the UNICEF index right now. But more than 90% as of today. The 80% was about 3 years ago, 4 years ago. But if we don't take very serious action, we might not have a region called the northern Nigeria. So we have to be careful. And we should stop blaming President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. We should look at ourselves in the mirror and sit down. I'm happy what is happening today is unprecedented. This is the first time in the history of Nigeria. Officials from the federal government are sitting together in one hall to look at the problem of northern Nigeria and address it. And I think this is the beginning, and I can see hope. We need to continue with this and be focused and also be unwavering in doing this thing. President Tinubu's administration introduced a comprehensive student loan scheme, alleviating education costs and allowing students from modest backgrounds to pursue higher education. He is investing in infrastructure upgrade at federal institutions and enrolling thousands in vocational and digital training programs targeted at preparing youth for opportunities in technology and innovation. In basic education, we are expanding classroom capacity, recruiting and training teachers, renewing curricula, all to improve learning outcomes for underserved communities. We are reimagining education not simply as literacy, but as empowerment. President Tinubu's 3 million technical talent initiative trains youth in digital and technical skills, while our own agricultural colleges and technical institutes connect learning with livelihoods. We are not only preparing future employees, we are cultivating job creators. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's efforts in healthcare are equally transformative. I'm here. I'm also happy that the chairman of the Nigerian Governors Forum is here. The chairman of Governors Forum is also here. And I can attest to the fact that we are getting a lot of support from President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And this support is not because we are APC governors. The support quote across all governors, irrespective of party affiliation. That is why today, I am not sure if there's any governor in Nigeria that can come out and say that he can go against the president, because the president is doing to us what no president in the history of Nigeria have done for subnationals in terms of support. These improvements in insecurity, education, economic inclusion, health, infrastructure, and agriculture are not isolated interventions. They form a coherent vision of national renewal that President Tinubu champions through his Renew Hope agenda across the North. Infrastructure revival is underway. In agriculture, long the economic lifeblood of the North, we are witnessing a quiet revolution. Farmers now benefit from solar-powered irrigation, mechanized tools, fertilizers. Climate-smart programs are reshaping rural livelihoods. Agribusinesses is supplementing subsistence farming. Local market flourish. Food systems grow more resilient and food sovereignty. In fact, no president has in the history of Nigeria supporters of national and agricultural transformation as President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is doing at the moment. Central to his administration achievement is unwavering commitment to national inclusion. Northerners hold key ministerial and institutional leadership roles. Today, I'm happy looking at this hall. The entire security of Nigeria is here. National Security Advisor is here. Minister of Defense is here. Minister of Defense for State is here. Chief of Defense Staff is here. My brother, the Chief of Air Staff is here. Everyone is here. We have no reason to complain. We just have to put our head together. I'm happy we are all sitting in the same hall today. So security, I'm sure after this meeting, will be a history by the grace of God. Again, I emphasize governance flourishes when it is inclusive. No president, no governor, no minister thrives alone. That is why this forum is not ornamental. It is catalytic. Sir Ahmadu Bello taught us that leadership is service rooted in vision and that unity must be founded in justice. Let us not merely recall his legacy. Let us renew it, elevate it, and embody it today. In Kaduna State, we have embraced that mandate, completing long abandoned projects not for applause, but for lasting impact, building enduring institutions rather than mere infrastructure, expanding opportunities not just for the privileged, but for the forgotten majority. Let this conference be remembered not for the rhetoric, but for the resolve it rekindles. Let it mark the dawn of renewed national commitment to the integrity of promises, the sincerity of performance, and the vitality of citizen engagement in leadership. Across the domains of security, education, health, infrastructure, agriculture, and inclusion, the pledges made by President Tinubu's administration have been honored through bold, tangible outcomes. Certainly, more work remains. Distance still lies ahead, but the path is open and the destination is in sight. May the memory of Sir Ahmadu Bello continue to stir our conscience. May his vision illuminate our path, and may we, in our time, prove worthy of the Nigeria he envisaged. Thank you. May God bless Kaduna State, Northern Nigeria, and Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you.